What is going on, people? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. We are back here on the pre-match pump-up, and we are joined by Kate, just a girl who loves Spurs, who has told me that it will be her first time at the stadium at the North London Derby in a couple of weeks. So, Kate, I'm absolutely buzzing for you for that one. But before we get to that, the Gooners, we have a huge task ahead of us this afternoon up in Newcastle on the Tyne. How are you feeling about this one, Kate? It's a huge match up there.
It is. Morning, everybody. Before I say anything, smash a like. Don't forget to smash a like. I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling a little bit nervous this morning. Last year, and we all know what happened last year, we was actually at a parade with my son, and we was in the church, and they were playing, if you please. It was like everything was against. They were playing when the Saints go marching in. So I said to Jim, "Oh, let me check the score," and it was like a fruit machine. It was like 1-0, and then I'd check again, it was 2-0. So there is a little bit of trepidation today. But I did look at the team that was playing back then, and we had the likes of Lloris, Dyer, Skip was playing, Højbjerg was playing. So, you know, we've definitely improved on that. I'm hoping we can steal a win, but I definitely don't think it's going to be easy today.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I agree with you. It's definitely not going to be easy going up there. It's an early kickoff as well. You know, we tend to struggle with early kickoffs. I'm just hoping that Ange has riled them up enough that we can get off to a good start in the first half. You know, I think it's going to be key. If we can get off to a good start, put them under a lot of pressure, it will serve us well. And like you said, you know, last season it was a horror show, really. Let's be honest. It was probably one of the worst Spurs performances I've seen in my lifetime. And like you said, you know, it's all changed. Got a lot of new players in. We've got Mickey van der Ven, who is, you know, it's a whole change to the defense. We've got Big Vic behind the sticks. We've got Porro in. You know, it's a whole new team, really. And the system we play under, I think, is really going to play into our hands today. You know, I don't think Newcastle will sit back too much. You know, they're not the type of side that will sit back at home. So I'm hoping there will be a lot of space for us to get into an attack. In terms of the lineups, Kate, you know, we've seen a lot of changes at halftime in our last match that worked in the midfield for us as soon as, you know, Højbjerg and Bentancur came on. Do you think Ange will make changes to that midfield this afternoon?
I think he'll do what he did last time, and I think he'll start with Sarr, Basuma, Madders, and then try and absorb, because we're going to get some pressure, whether they've got 13 injuries or not. Like you say, they don't sit on the back foot. Eddie Howe's hasn't playing lovely football. Absorb the pressure and then change it at half time and bring on a more sort of Bentancur attacking. I mean, I thought Bentancur and Højbjerg were excellent when they came on. Up until the last 5 minutes when Højbjerg nearly gave me a heart attack by passing the ball back. But up until then, you know, it's funny because you never kind of. I always feel Tottenham are either going to come out firing and try and take an early lead, or they're going to sit back and absorb pressure and then try and kick on in the second half. You never really know what you're going to get. But today, I think he's going to play, like I say, Basuma, Sarr and Madders, and then change it at half time, you know, to make it slightly more attacking, and hopefully we can be winning or at least drawing come half time.
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well. I think that the extra legs as well, when you're bringing players like that on, Bentancur, Højbjerg, you know, these are top quality players. And once the opposition is a bit tired, it really has. We've seen it pay off time and time again with our late goals, scoring late, you know, pressing the defenders, making the opponents make mistakes. I'm really hoping that you know, we can do that again today. There's a few players that I would like to see step their game up a little bit this afternoon. One of them for me is Madders, who, you know, since his injury, although he's been good, I'm you know, I'm not gonna slate him or anything like that. It's obviously difficult to come back from an injury, but I really want to see him focus his game and really, you know, take shots from outside the box. You know, he's got it in his locker. Make that key pass, get that assist. I want to see his numbers, you know, going up and up and up. How about you, Kate, this afternoon? Is there anyone you're looking to specifically for a good performance this afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, I had this discussion yesterday. For me, if Basuma plays well, Madders automatically plays better. I don't know if it's a confidence thing that they bounce off each other. For me, those two are key. I keep saying it every week. I think Basuma's improved slightly because he was putting out some real stinkers the last couple of games. I think there's been a slight improvement, but I want to see him become the midfield general that we know he can be. And I think if he was to do that, you'll find Madders becomes more confident in being that creative force going forward. So again, for me, they're the two positions I want to see them really step up. We know they can do it. We've seen them do it at the start of the season. You know, people were arguing about Biss being better than Declan Rice, and it was a fair argument at the time because he was incredible at the start of the season. Yeah, but I mean, obviously he's not been well, and everyone says I'm making excuses. Maybe I am, but I like to give our players the benefit of the doubt. So I'm hoping that he can kick in, and I do believe if Basuma can get back to that form, Maddison will follow, because they definitely bounce off each other. So they're the two for me I'm looking at today.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree with you with Biss. You know, he's such a talented player. We saw it in those first 10 games in that winning streak that we were having. It's absolutely fantastic. I think he went through some mental difficulties, you know, the dive, getting sent off, that kind of stuff is, for me, honestly, as you know, a lover of football, I can't stand to see that kind of behavior, and I'm sure it affected him. And you know, I'm with you on that, Kate. I like to give my players the benefit of the doubt as well, and try and get them going. We saw how it worked with Richie and the, you know, the psychology, the things that he was going through there, his issues that he was dealing with, and he managed to deal with them, spoke about it publicly, and really, you know, got himself going again with beautiful goals for us. So I'm really hoping that this can turn it around for us, and we know he's got it in his locker. We saw it in the last game as well. He was pushed up forward. He was having shots as well. I'm happy to see that. I really am. I just think that sometimes, you know, as fans, we can get onto players, and we don't know how it affects them. We don't really understand what's going through their mind, and I think this is one of those guys that he needs the fans behind him. He needs to have that big bear hug by the 60,000, you know, down at the stadium week in, week out. And I'm hoping to see him have a really great performance this afternoon. I just want to add one more player to that list. So we've got Biss and Madders. Captain Heung-min Son, I think he's been brilliant for us this season, and obviously brilliant over all the years. I just want to see him take the initiative and shoot a little bit more. You know,
Yes.
I've seen him being a bit hesitant to shoot and stuff like that. You don't shoot, you don't score. So I'm looking for Captain Sonny to take the initiative, and hopefully, well, we all know, what a great finisher he is. He'll get a few goals against the Geordies. Is there anyone on the opposition side that gives you a bit of the heebie-jeebies?
Yeah, it's Isaac, however you want to say it. He terrifies the life out of me. I think he's been one of the absolute signings of the last few years. He's incredible. And I remember when Newcastle were linked to him, I was watching, it was probably a transfer show that I was watching, and they were like, wow, how's no one else coming for this guy? He's amazing. And, I didn't really know anything about him, but wow, he can score from anywhere, and he just seems to pop up every week with a goal. So, yeah, he terrifies the life out of me. I think we've got to keep him quiet. And then you've got Bruno Guimaraes, or however you say it, as well, who, again, they've got injuries yet. I appreciate they've got a lot of injuries, but they've still got quality in that team. So we're going to have to be on the ball. We can't, I say it every week, but we can't have passengers in this team. If we want to cement fourth spot, we've got to all be on the ball, because there's quality in every single team in the Premier League, or they wouldn't be in the Premier League.
Oh, spot on. You're spot on there, Kate. And to be honest, those two players that you mentioned, they have been, I'd say, Newcastle's standout performers.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe Tonali, when after he got his ban, he started off fantastic his career at Newcastle, and obviously he's don't know when he's going to be playing football again. But yeah, Guimaraes, he's going to be the key for me. If we can stifle him in the midfield and win that battle, Sarah Bissouma, I think that not allow him any space, because he's one of those types of players. He'll knock in a beautiful ball. Very dangerous, very dangerous. So I'm hoping that we have the tools to nullify him. In terms of Isaac, he's a big worry for me. The pacing behind, if we were looking at our defense of last year, I would be bricking it. But the fact that we have Mickey back there, that super pace, and we have the new responsible, how shall I say,
cool-headed.
What's that?
Cool-headed Sheriff.
Cool-headed. That's what I was looking for, Kate. Spot on. The cool-headed Romero. I think we'll do okay at nullifying Isaac's threat. And obviously, Udogie coming in. Udogie's another one. He started off the season really, really well. I think there's been a little bit of a dip in form. He's obviously still learning the game. He's an absolute beast of a player. It's just that I think sometimes he can switch off going forward.
Yeah.
So to nullify Isaac, he's got to stay on point and not let him get in those spaces in between the right back and the defender. So we'll see, right back or left back.
Yeah.
In terms of predictions, Kate, how do you feel this one will go? Are we getting the win up there today?
I'm going to say yeah. I've heard a lot of people say they think it's. I'm going to say yeah. Oh God, I hate bocking it, but a lot of people think it's going to be like a hat full of goals, because obviously both play quite open. But I am going to do my favourite scoreline. Actually, it's not my favourite because it's squeaky bum scoreline, but it's the scoreline I always go to, and I'm going to do a 2-1 to Spurs. I think we'll just edge it. I'm a little bit gutted. I was going to mention him earlier at the drop off from Kulu, because a player with Kulu's strengths, I think, would have been really useful in a game like this. But I can't see Ange putting him on because he's just been dreadful. But I think as fans, we forget these players are human beings. The pressure does get to them. I think as well, if they're getting it from fans in the ground, like you say, we don't know how it affects them. But I mean, my son's nearly 18, and some of these footballers aren't much older. And I look at him and I think, God, if he had people screaming at him, I don't know how he'd deal with it. So it's hard. I do think a lot of our players in our squad seem to be confidence players. So hopefully Kulu will find his confidence and come back. But like I say, I think it's a shame because he would have been quite useful today. And Richarlison would have been another option off the bench, but obviously he's got his knee.
Big time.
So yeah, I'm going to go for a squeaky bum 2-1 to the Spurs today. What about you?
I tell you what, I would love, I'd love to reverse what they did to us last season.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't really see that happening. They're a very decent side. I'd have to agree with you. I think it will be very tight. I'm going to go with 3-2. I just think we might manage to get a few more goals, and we might nick one early, and then that'll open the floodgates, make the game very open. But yeah, I'm going for a Spurs win. We're getting revenge up there. I know the fans are going up there pumped. They're going to be absolutely on it. The atmosphere will be absolutely electric up there, and yeah, we're going to get the win. We're going to get.
I actually think we're going to go 1-0 down, but in a way, I don't mind that because I do think that kind of gives us a wake-up call, which is weird, but it does. So I actually fancy them to score the first goal, but us to come back and win it. But like you say, Sonny needs to get his shooting boots on today. I love him. I don't ever want to, I saw someone in my chat yesterday saying he needs to be dropped. No, the team and the way he captains the team it's not for everyone, but he muddied me. I didn't think he'd be a very good captain, but I think he's been marvellous.
Me too.
I just he's unfortunate because every time he gets the ball, there's normally 2 or 3 players on him. But we all know he's got them tricks and flicks to get around that. So, like you say, I want to see him shooting from outside the box like he used to and taking some chances. Yeah. And I think, Johnson, when obviously he'll probably start today, but when he came off the bench, I think that was the difference. You saw him take risks and chances and really go for it. And that's the only thing about him starting. I much prefer Johnson coming off the bench, but hopefully Johnson will start and start firing full cylinders right from the off.
Oh, I hope so. He's another player which I think, when we're touching on the age of some of these players, we've got to remember as well, Johnson, he's not past your son. He's not too much far past your son's age. And I think that he's really shown a great mentality because he's also come in for a lot of stick. And he's shown his worth. He's shown that he's always looking for that back post. He's always looking for the goal. He was unlucky not to get one last weekend. Fantastic save. He's doing the right things. He's pressing as well. His work rate, phenomenal. So yeah, I'm really expecting big things for Johnson. I agree with you. I think he'll get the nod today. I want to just touch on Kulu, because I'm a big fan of Kulusevski. I'm a big fan of the way he plays, his strength, his mentality. I thought when he came in the January window, he really helped us in that run-in. And I do think he's lost his way a little bit. I'm not too sure quite what it's down to. If it's that the defenders have figured him out that he likes to cut back on his left a lot, or I'm not quite sure what it is. But whatever it is, he, as a footballer, needs to learn to overcome it, right? So if it is that players have figured him out, do something a little bit different, Kulu. Use your right. Don't be scared. We've seen you score goals with your right. We've seen you go that way. Don't be so predictable. And I'm hoping that I think it would be great if he did actually come off the bench and nick a little goal. It would be fantastic for his confidence.
Yeah,
fantastic. And some of these players that you mentioned, we've got to think about confidence players. Maybe that's to do with the youth of our squad. These players being so young. You're looking at Sarr, you're looking at Udogie, you're looking at Van der Ven, you're looking at Johnson, Kulu. There's, so many kids in that squad. So
plus they've gone from a manager like Conte, who was, from what I read into it, was quite hard and quite strict and a completely different system, to a completely different manager who, Sonny said in an interview this week that he loves Ange, but he can get really angry. But you can also see that Ange is going to put his arm around him, and he's a lot more tactile. Plus, a completely different system. It is going to take a bit of time, and I think we've gone from saying this is or not me personally, but some of the fan base have gone from saying this is just a building season to seeing where we are and going, wow, now if we don't get top four, it's a failure. Whereas they've completely surpassed my expectations for this season. So, I think everything's looking bright, but it is going to take a bit of time. It's as easy as that. We've got to be a little bit patient, I think.
No, I really feel you on that, Kate, and I agree. I thought when we started this season with Kane leaving, I thought any European position, I'll take that. Even
That's what I said.
Even the Conference League, I'll take that. We'll build on that. We'll see if we can, go for a European trophy under Ange. But the fact that we're sitting so pretty at the moment, with the running that we have, anything less than fourth for me will be a failure from here, 100%. When you spoke about what Ange's kind of management style and the Sonny interview, do you feel like he has a huge effect at halftime with his halftime team talks and getting the players riled up? Because we've seen, Tottenham go from one side in the first half to something completely different in the second. Do you feel that's all down to Ange and his team talks, his mentality?
Yeah, I mean, I joke about it with Jim, and I say I think Ange is the type who say, rather than screaming and shouting, look, I'm really disappointed in you, like your dad would, and you go, oh no, don't say that. But Jim thinks it's the other way. He thinks he probably does shout, but I mean, whatever he does do, it works. It's just getting them to perform like that from the first minute, because that doesn't always happen. But then we had this with Conte as well. It's strange. I can't put my finger on why it is. Like I say, maybe Anne just said it's fine, just soak up the pressure, because in the second half we're going to go out 100 mile an hour and sort of put them to bed. Then I don't know, but yeah, I think he's definitely got that look where that you wouldn't want to mess with Ange. So. I don't know what exactly he says at halftime. I'd love to know, but like you say, it definitely works. But you could tell by Sonny's interview how much he respects him already. You could just tell.
Big time. Oh, big time. You can tell I got a sense that even Sonny's like learning some managerial skills off Ange here. Maybe he's thinking about his career 10, 15 years down the line. I don't know. But yeah, it definitely seemed like there's a real bond there. Real connection. And honestly, I've been so impressed by what Ange has done. And I know not all Spurs fans are, happy and, think that we're on the right track. But I just think that going from where we were last season, the turmoil, the discontent, the arguments within the fan base, the all the things. And on top of that, losing your best striker. It's unbelievable, really, the position we're in. And I know there've been road bumps, along the way. The going out of the cups for me was huge, was really disappointing. But to be where we are, honestly, I think it's really a testament to Ange, not just Ange, to the players as well, that have taken to his style and really want to play the attacking way and really are listening to where he wants to go with the club. And the fact that he doesn't see fourth as success, I love that. I mean, that for me is, of course, it's not success. We were talking off camera, right, Kate, about getting to a Champions League final. That's not success. Right? We were in this game to win. So anything but that is, for me, it's not success. So I'm really hoping that under Ange, we can continue to grow, continue to build. And obviously, we've got a huge summer window coming up with obviously a lot of ingoings and outgoings I can see happening, to be honest with you. There's a lot of things to do, but I'm sure there will be plenty to talk about during the summer window when we get to that stage. Before that happens, we have huge games coming up. And, I just think that if we take it game by game, we will be in a fantastic position come that summer.
I think, you know what I think the thing is with Ange, I think he really gets it. I know that sounds like a strange statement, but I think he gets it as had from a fan's perspective. I think he really, because he's not unified the fan base, because our fan base is never going to be unified because of the ownership, and that's just a fact. We all have to accept it's never going to happen. But I think he's bridged the gap between the team and the fans. We all feel a little bit closer to the team, but and he definitely understands that. We, you know, as fans, we want to be able to say when a rival says to us, yeah, but you don't win nothing. We don't want to have to come back with, well, we're in the top 4, because it's true. It doesn't mean anything. We need trophies. And I just think he really understands that. And his philosophy and everything he stands for me, is just such a breath of fresh air for this club, because, you know, Mourinho, Conte, so boring. You always felt like they were here for convenience. They were doing us a favour. Whereas, you know, that Ange, you can tell he's honoured to be here. His press conferences make, you know, I look forward to him so much, because I think the way he handles the press is incredible. And yeah, for me, he's just fantastic. And I really hope that he brings success, because he deserves it. He's been mocked. He's been called naive. He's been called this, that and the other. But I truly believe we're on the right track with him.
Oh, I fully agree. And, you know, time will tell, but I can see us on here in a couple of years and, you know, just singing his praises and finally putting some silverware back in that cabinet.
Yes.
But yeah, step by step.
Exactly.
So we will have the lineups out here soon in a second, Kate. I'll just try and get them up for us. Can you see any surprises in it, or do you just think it will be similar to last week?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I don't think he'll change anything from how he started last week. A lot of people have been calling for Højbjerg to start, which I understand, because, like I say, he came on, he was brilliant, but we've lost every game where Højbjerg starts. So I hope he doesn't start him for that reason. But apart from that, I think it will be exactly the same.
Okay, well, let's see if you are right. Let me just try and get these up here. I am a bit technically challenged, so give me.
Technically challenged. I like that one.
I am, unfortunately. Right. Here we go. Have we got it up there?
There we
go. So we do have Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, Udogie, Bentancur is in there instead of Sarr. So we do have one little change to last week, Kate. I mean, how do you feel about that?
I mean, do you know what? Bentancur for me is a sensational player. He was marvellous when he came on, so he's completely earned that right to start. I think from looking at this, he's going to go all out to start nice and early, try and get early goals, and then perhaps shore it up if we're winning towards the end of the game. So I can't criticise Bentancur, because I just think he's such a talented player. And like I say, he's totally earned the right to start.
Oh, I agree with you. I think that performance last week, you know, how can you not start him? So I think that's really fair of Ange to put him in. And honestly, in terms of what he brings on the ball, he's, I think, maybe our best ball playing footballer in the whole squad.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. Obviously, he's had a tough time with injuries. We know that. So maybe, you know, Ange is just thinking that he's over all those problems. Get him in there. Get him fighting, battling. And I think that, in actual fact, that combination of Biss and Bentancur is there to nullify Guimaraes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can see a few people having a bit of a moan that there's the bench, because he's got on Brian Hill on the bench, Lo Celso. I mean, these are all players that, yeah, they might be going, but I think it's hard to criticise Ange, because we haven't got that. He hasn't got that many options, really, at the minute for who he can pick. You know, as far as wingers go, he's only got Johnson and Werner really at the minute, because Kulu's bang out of form, even though he's on the bench. Solomon's injured, Richarlison's injured, so you can't put Sonny on the wing. So for me, that's the best possible team he could have put out today. You know, it
No,
should
I
be.
feel you. I feel you. I think those players that you mentioned are missing. Solomon, Richie. These are players that would have a huge impact on the team. So not having them available, I'm sure Andrew's really frustrated by that situation. I'm just going to try and get the Newcastle lineup as well, so we can have a little look at that and see what they're doing. While I do that,
But yeah, someone's just said Harvey Barnes. I forgot him. Another absolutely brilliant player that we're going to have to keep an eye on. They've got some absolute talent, even though they've got a lot of injuries. The talent they've still got available to them is, even the likes of Dan Burton, their captain, but Shaw, Barnes, Gordon, they're all,
yeah, he's
see what I
injured
mean?
though, right? Gordon.
No, he's back.
Oh, he's back.
He's starting, I think. Yeah, I think he's. Yeah, I think if that means the Gordon they're talking about there. Yes, Belgian Hotspur. It is Timo, Son, and Johnson up front. He didn't really have a choice. But I mean, he's another player that divides the fan base. Timo Werner. People either love him or hate him. He's another
He's like
Marmite player.
Marmite. He is like Marmite, isn't he? He really is. I mean, what are your feelings on Marmite Werner?
I hate Marmite, but I do like Werner.
Yeah.
I think he offers something different. I think his pace is brilliant. I think he was excellent the last few games that he's played for us. Yes, occasionally he hasn't got himself in the right positions, but his crosses in have been brilliant. And yeah, I really like him. And I think for 12 to 17 million, bargain. I don't know what you think.
Oh, I'm completely in your camp, Kate. I don't think you're going to find anyone with his level of experience and quality at that kind of price.
Yeah.
And I hear the frustrations from fans when he misses, a golden opportunity. We've seen him miss a couple of sitters and stuff like that. But if you're doing the right thing time and time again, and you're getting in the right positions, and you're affecting the game, which he does, he beats his man, he puts in great balls, time and time again. I think that you're playing your way into being bought. And I think that's what he's done since he's, come on loan to us. And I think he'd be a fantastic addition to the squad. I think personality-wise as well, Ange has always said, he wants the right people with the right attitude. And from what I've seen from Timo, he comes off as a great guy. He comes off as a really nice guy, really good work rate, really good team spirit, getting in the swing of things. He seems like he's been a Spurs player for about 5 years, and he's only been here, 3-4 months, however long it is.
Yeah, he's come out openly and said he loves it at Spurs. And, a few people sort of said, I think once he signs a contract, he won't be bothered anymore. But I think he's so desperate to get back into his national side. I don't see that happening. I think he's got a good work ethic. And, I really like him. But like I say, lots of people don't, lots of people do. So, it's just, but I think he'd definitely be signed on a permanent basis.
Oh yeah. I think it's pretty much done. But when it comes to Marmite, Kate, I'm also with you on that one. I won't go near that stuff.
No,
not for
disgusting.
me. Not for me. Yeah, not for me. Not for me. But I do have this Liverpool lineup here, so let's just try and
Newcastle, you mean, not Liverpool?
Newcastle. Sorry. Absolute brain fart there. The Newcastle lineup. We do have Dubravka in goal. We have Shaw. Gordon is back, like you said. Isak, the man with the very fast legs. Barnes, Kraft, Murphy, who's also a very decent player. Anderson, Byrne, Longstaff, and the dangerous Bruno Guimaraes. So obviously quite a lot of talent there, Kate. I mean, how do you feel about that lineup?
Like I say, I mean, I obviously highlighted Isak and Bruno, but then you look at that and you look at the likes of Harvey Barnes, who's also can be dangerous. I mean, I just said I think Dan Burn is an excellent player, and I've just had loads of stick off someone in the chat, but I do. I think he's a great player. He's the captain. I think he's good as well. He's a very physical player, and he's good at drawing fouls and obviously he likes to foul as well, our
Yeah.
players. There's a mountain of talent there. We should have enough to overcome it, but there's a lot of good players in there. But the main three for me to watch out for is Bruno, Barnes, and Isak. But yeah, and Gordon. Oh God, see, look, I'm making myself worry now. I keep adding players to it.
It's not 3, it's 4. And I'd even add Murphy to that one. Might be 5.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh
See,
God. What are we doing?
we've got, like I say, we've got enough to beat, and we've got to play our game. Forget them. Just play our game the way we want to play. The way we know we can play, and that should be enough, in my opinion.
I really hope you're right, and I think there's a chance you are. The only kind of like worry deep down in my gut somewhere is that we go up there and we're a bit complacent, the same way we were against Fulham.
I don't know if anybody can be complacent when they go to St James's Park, though. You walk in and it's hard to be complacent at that ground, right? It's such an intimidating place to go. So any complacency should be knocked straight out the water.
Yeah, I hope so. I really, really hope so. I really hope that Ange does not let anything like that happen again, because I think the Fulham one was a real punch in the gut for us. The way we went down, the way we lost that record of scoring every game as well. That really hurt. Really hurt. But yeah, I can't see us being complacent, to be honest. It's one of those things as a Spurs fan. You always have that worry in you. You do. We've seen it time and time again. But I think that under Ange, we really have shown resilience. We've gone, like you said, I won't be worried if we go down.
Yeah.
Same way we did against Luton. I never felt that we were going to lose that match against Luton, and we managed to get back in it. So
yeah,
it's not too much of a worry. In terms of Spurs, do you think that if we do get Champions League, that will push us on more in the window than if we didn't?
Well, my theory is, my husband's kind of drummed this into me. He's convinced they've already got our signings lined up and that they know who they're going to get. He's absolutely convinced of it. So, but I do always think, Champions League, you do get that extra money. You do get the prestige of playing in the Champions League. And there's no doubt, I know Ange said we don't want players that just want to come because we're playing in the Champions League. But if you've got a club that's come in for someone and they're being offered, they're around about the same, but one's got Champions League, one hasn't, the chances are they go to the Champions League club. So I would hope that will push us on to, I really think we're going to get that Santiago Jimenez this window, because is rumoured to be going the other way. So I think there's some real substance in that. I also think Morgan Gibbs-White will be coming to us this window. So I think I'm choosing to give Levy another chance, in which case I'm choosing to believe that if we get Champions League, it will push us on to the next level. But if I'm wrong, I will put my hands up and say that I'm wrong. But I am going to give him that final chance to sort of, because we're not that far away, we're not really. We've got a fantastic spine of our team. It's just adding the extras. So, yeah, I'm choosing to believe that if we get that Champions League, we will push on. But I don't know if I'm being naive.
No, I don't think you're being naive. And I've been saying it for a while. I think we are a jigsaw that's just missing maybe 5 or 6 pieces. And it's just about getting those right ones there, completing them, and really pushing on. The reason I asked you about the Champions League, especially given our opponents, Newcastle, we saw them struggle on both fronts big time this season. So my only worry with us going back into Europe next season is that it's not like we've got to get some players. No, we have to really add top quality to the team. If you want to be in the Champions League and compete, we see it this season. Look at the teams that are Real Madrid. You're not going to compete with Real Madrid if you don't bring in the top quality to the side. And for me, if you're going to be in those elite competitions, you're not just in it to make up the numbers and, you know, go out in the group stages. For me, that's pointless. You may as well be in the Europa and challenge for it. I'm hoping that, you know, maybe a leopard, they say a leopard never changes its spots, but maybe a Levy can adapt his spots, maybe, let's say.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he can realize that this is the time to strike while the iron's hot and go. And we've got the money there. The money's there. Go and spend it on pure quality that will push us on in the elite competition. I'm really, really hoping to see that. Maybe we're both naive. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I'd love to sign a Zubamendi type player, a real solid. I know that Ange doesn't particularly play a defensive midfielder as such, but Zubamendi is really good at going forward as well. And I think that's sort of statement signing I want to see coming into the club. And I mean, he's 50 odd million. It's not like we're talking about Declan Rice money. Somebody like that for me would make a big statement, along with the likes of Jimenez, Morgan Gibbs-White. I mean, I'm expecting a minimum of 4 players, good quality players, to come in the summer. But it's a case of always, the proof will be in the pudding. It'll be a case of waiting and seeing. But I refuse to condemn the club and Levy until I see what they're going to do. I'm not going to say, you know, that they've done the wrong thing or are doing the wrong thing until I see what they do in the summer.
Yeah, no, I'm fully with you on that. I'm fully with you on that, Kate. And I think that, you know, we've been scarred. I've said it in many other streams as well. We've been scarred in the past so much in the windows. But we have seen an improvement over the last 2-3 years. We have seen an improvement, and we have seen, you know, real quality coming in. Players that, you know, even when Mickey came in, a lot of people were upset that, oh, we should have got Tapsoba, we should have got this guy, we should have got that guy. But it looks like we've got one.
Same with this guy, Vicario. I mean, my husband, he said to me, I don't want Raya, I want Vicario. And I was like, who? And he went, no, I've been watching him, Kate. Honestly, he's brilliant. I'd never heard of him. And he's just been a revelation for me. I just think he's been brilliant. And a proper leader at the back as well.
Oh, he's when they say fully coys, right? That guy, I mean, he's just something else, you know. I love the Italian passion as well. You know, I would have signed in blood for this club.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want. That's the man I want. You know, that's
exactly
who you need at the back. That's who you need. And honestly, in terms of some of his saves, you know, you go back to earlier in the season, absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. My not issue, but my kind of
concern.
Yeah, my kind of concern is that with the amount of goals that we leak, right, it's giving Vicario a bit of a bad name, you know. I want to see him take control of that defense and fight for every single clean sheet. I don't want to see us conceding these you know, silly goals. I can't stand it. I can't stand it when we're open and, you know, it's just too easy for the opposition. So I want to see him be that leader at the back and really rile up that whole defense to take pride in what they're doing, pride in that back line. And we're playing attacking football, but playing attacking football doesn't mean you need to lead 2-3 goals every game.
Exactly. And I think as well, I forgot what I was going to say. Look, this is what getting old does for you. It's because I read someone saying, don't forget we've got Bergvall coming back, and that triggered in my brain as well that we've got him to come in who looks like a beast.
Unbelievable player.
Yeah,
unbelievable player.
He looks excellent. I was going to say about Vicario, obviously the set piece, you know, it's showing a little bit of weakness in his game, but I think in the summer, one of our key signings or additions needs to be some sort of set piece coach, because Ryan Mason is clearly not the one to be doing it. So that as well is a key element that needs filling in the summer window. But generally, Vicario has been sensational. I don't like to even say anything negative about him because I think he's been wonderful.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. What a keeper, what a man. And I think he'll only improve. You know, as goalkeepers go, he's still very young as well.
Yeah.
He's going to be playing his way into that Italian starting lineup very soon, I think.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Brilliant,
So,
brilliant guy.
Yeah. Let's hope he has a good game today.
Come on, Vic. Get that clean sheet up there in Newcastle. Come on. Come on.
That would be a real statement if we could keep a clean sheet up there as well. Wow.
Oh, I will go nuts. I mean, I would snap your hand off for a 2-0. I would snap your hand off. That would be, you know, absolutely, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree.
Kate, before we go, we're going to wrap things up quite soon. Is there anything that you want to tell the public?
What about my about my channel, or about Spurs, or
anything, Spurs, the channel, anything.
First of all, as you said at the beginning of the show, I'm going to the North London Derby in 2 weeks, which is my first time at the stadium. So that's going to be incredible. I actually met my husband at White Hart Lane 24 years ago. That's where we met. So
no way.
Yeah, so White Hart Lane's always had a very special place for us. So to go to the new stadium together is going to be excellent. Just hope we can get a win there as well. Second thing I want to say is Charles Preston, who's in the chat, big up to you, but I don't really believe that Joey Barton was right and that women shouldn't speak about football, but you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Kate.
You know, some men get threatened by women speaking about football, but that's fine. And lastly, yes, you can find me at Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. Always there at lunchtimes doing shows, and we do match reactions. We got Mickey Hazard coming on again soon. Gary Mabbott's coming on.
Wow.
Soon. Yeah, Graham Roberts is lined up to come on.
Brilliant.
And Paul Stewart. Yeah, we got some real Spurs legends coming on soon. So keep an eye out. But I'm just going up now. I think 1,220 odd. So moving on up. So please do come over and join us over there. Always on with Queen Ellie as well, who used to play for the ladies, and my husband's always on there. And big up the girls as well, because obviously the ladies are playing tomorrow in the semi-final.
Big time. That's a great shout. I actually wanted to take my niece to that one, but I've been told that she's still a bit too young. So
it's great though, because so many young girls. I mean, a friend of ours, they take their daughters to they're actually Chelsea women fans, which isn't good, but it's great for these young girls now to know that there's a pathway to women's football, you know, because it never happened when I was younger, and there was nothing like that I ever saw. So it's brilliant for the women's game.
Oh, I think it's phenomenal, and I can see us getting to the final as well. I really think the women are going to pave the way for the men to do it next season, to bring home some silverware. So come on, the Spurs ladies, come on, let's get that win. Let's get that win. Let's get to the final. Show these lads how to do it.
Exactly.
And we'll keep pushing on. And if you are in town, I think, you know, great to stop by and support the ladies.
I know Queen Ellie's going tomorrow. She's in the chat as well, but she's going to do some chatting to the fans there and try and get hold of some young girls to speak to them about how they feel about the game. Because like I say, women's football's only getting bigger and bigger. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, and again, that's fine. But good luck to them. They're making history as it is. So big up the ladies as well. But come on, you Spurs, let's beat the Geordies today.
Come on. So that's just about it for us, guys. Today, it's been a real pleasure having you on, Kate. It's been a pleasure for me hosting this show for the first time. A lot of people asking where the Irish Hotspur is. Don't worry, he will be back for the next day. Just a bit of an early one for him today. David will be back next time. It's been a real pleasure to be with you guys. Let's get behind the team, get behind our lads, get behind the ladies tomorrow, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.